everyone with Thomas Muse Guitars. Hope everybody's having a great day. So what I'm doing today is I'm laying out the control cavity for a custom Superconductor guitar. This one is a solid swamp ash body, one piece, and I've laid out the control cavity for this, and there's several things to consider. So I've got this heavy bevel going all around, and when the control cavity is put in through the back, I don't want the control cavity to be popping out the bevel, so I've put it beyond the bevel. This is where the bevel's going to go. And this is the basic size. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, so here's the center line of the guitar. 3 1/4 inches down, I put another line, and that's where our control cavity is centered. Here's the template for the control cavity. I've got some center lines marked on that. What I did was just lay it over the top and mark where it's going to go. So all I have to do is transfer this to the back of the guitar where I'm going to put the control cavity, and we're going to have a nice clean face. It's going to be volume tone on this one, just a volume, a tone, and a 5-way switch, and it's going to get a mini humbucker and 2 Firebirds. So mini hum, Firebird, 5-way selector, and it's going to have the 7-way mod, so you'll be able to flip a switch and get a 7-way switching on it, which will basically bring the neck into any configuration on the 5-way switch. So you can have a combination of all 3 pickups or the bridge and the neck. So that's that. Now, one of the main things that I need to consider is once I put this bevel, it's going to come down to about here. So I'm going to take out this material from here to here, which is going to leave a relatively narrow edge here to put the output. So I've got several options. I can drill a 7/8 hole, and I could put a ferrule style jack plate in here, which is what I do most of the time. But if I do that, it's going to be right to the edge of the guitar, and it's not going to look good in there. It's going to be right up to the edges. So the other option is to use a barrel jack like this, and that way you can drill a smaller hole, but you've got to drill it deep enough so that you can get a nut on this. And if you look at the bevel and where the control cavity is going, I wouldn't be able to get it deep enough to get a nut on that. So that's kind of out of the question. So a third option is to fabricate a new barrel jack flange, I guess you'd say. What I want to do is put this in a good location, like down here, but there's a heavy radius here. So if I put one of those round plates, it would be sticking up on either end. It wouldn't look good. So with this, I can bend to match the radius, and I can open up this hole in the center to match the barrel jack. So I'll put this over the barrel jack and put the whole mess on the guitar down here, and this is much smaller. The total size of this out to out is 7/8, but I don't need to have a 7/8 hole. So I can put probably a 5/8 hole in there, and that will look real nice. I'll polish this up, I'll radius it, I'll probably put the random swirl pattern on it, and it'll look sharp and do exactly what we need to do. That way I can just drill the hole straight through, and it doesn't matter how long it is. I can drill the hole straight through, and I don't have to back up that jack with the with a nut. All right, so all that considered, now we just need to transfer this shape over to the other side and put our pattern on it and route it out to the proper thickness. All right. So here we are. I've transferred all that to the back of the guitar, and I put some double-sided tape on the template. Peel the backing off here. Just had eggs. My wife made some delicious eggs. Just scrambled, and I put it in a wrap with a little bit of sriracha. Actually, not the actual sriracha, but a sriracha style sauce, which for my taste is just fine. All right, so I've secured the guitar to the top of my router table with a couple of clamps. Just making sure this is down nice. All right, everything's good and solid. And you know, for routing, I like working at about chest height because it's very comfortable. My face is right here. I can see what I'm doing. It's a comfortable hand position as opposed to being down low at waist level. I just find this is the best. So I always wear one of these little face things and cover up. I don't know if you can see this, but that keeps all the fine dust out. And hearing protection, which I just hit. Oh, here it is. I like these because they're easy to go on and off, and you can just wear them around and you always got them handy. Okay. And of course, eye protection. I always wear a face shield when I use a router. And it's easy to get lulled into a level of safety where, hey man, I've done this 100 times before and nothing's ever happened, and so this time I can go without wearing the safety glasses or the hearing protection or whatever. But that's when bad stuff happens. All right, enough with the Safety Sally stuff. Here we go. I've chosen, this is a 1/2 inch diameter router bit with the bearing here. And you can see I've got it just high enough where the bearing is just outside of the base of the router. And the bearing's gonna ride on my template, and we'll cut this out. And here's what that looks like once I get situated. So when I you can see the bit is sitting very proud of the surface. So when I bring this in, I'll be tilting the router. I'm going to start it, and I'm going to slowly tilt it down and drive it into the work, and just let the router do the cutting until it's flush. And then when I go around, I'll be hugging the left side. So a router turns clockwise. That means you want to be hugging the left side of the work, and you want to go clockwise on your routing when you're going around a template, because the cut of the router will draw the bearing into and against your template. I'll show you what that looks like. So you notice I always let the router stop before I move it. Okay, I got a little bump here. I'm checking the hole. So I got a little bump right here where I came off of the template. So I'm just going to go back in before I change my setting. And take care of that. Okay, gone. Beautiful, nice and smooth. So now all we got to do is keep bringing it down. So I'm going to add about 1/8 of an inch to the depth. That's good. And we're going to hit it again. And we'll keep hitting it again and again and again until we get to the depth that we want. And with this, I'll probably leave a depth of about 1/4 of an inch. All right. So now I'm going to use my template that's cut about 1/4 inch bigger on each side. And this is going to only go about as deep as my control cover material, which is 120 thousandths, about 3 millimeters. And I'm just going to go right around here and cut that out. There you have it. Let's see what it looks like. Pop this off. There we go. Shazam. So there's our control cavity. Next, I'm going to put the bevel on the front side, and that will give us an idea for the rest of our measurements, including our controls in here, where our switches and potentiometers are going to go. All right, so now we got the control cavity cut, we got the belly curve in there, and we've got the bevel all the way around the outside of the superconductor. We can cut the hole for the output jack. So it's going to be a 3/4 inch hole, and I'll be covering it with one of my little custom plates. And we want to make sure that if we imagine the radius, our drilled hole needs to go right through the center of that radius, almost right to the center of that arc. So based on where this radius lives, this line roughly represents that arc. So I'll show you how I do that. I got this old drill press here, and it's got a tilting table. It doesn't tilt the easiest. In fact, I'm going to raise it up a little. And now we should be able to get in there with this wrench. There we go. All right, and we're going to tilt this 90 degrees. And it's got a little mark on the side that you can't see. So we're going to go to plan B. I'm just going to snug it up a little bit, get out of the way. Then I'm going to take something that I know is straight, like this. This piece of stainless tube here. No, check to make sure it's straight. It's good and straight. So I'm going to chuck up this stainless tube. Let's see what our runout looks like. Alright, there's about our midpoint. So once I do that, I'll be able to bump the table until it lines up with that piece of tube, and that'll mean that we're at 90 degrees. Okay, let's tighten it up. There she is, all snugged up. Get this out of here. All right. Now what we're going to actually put in there is a 3/4 inch Forstner bit that I had right in my hand. Here it is. And this has some flats on it, so we'll line those flats up with the jaws on the chuck. All right. Now, I'm going to bring this down a bit, and we'll leave it flexible like this. And what I want to do is set this up like this. Doesn't seem like we have enough height. I've done this before. How did I do it last time? You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to plan B. You've got to have a plan B. All right. Let me get you zoomed in there. I hope you can see that. Let me give a quick check. Oh yeah. Fine. So this is the way I used to do it. In fact, I'm going to pause and see if I can think a bit. Hold on. Okay, so I figured out how I did it. We're back over here at the Fender drill press. It's the only drill press I use for making musical instruments. What I did was turn the table 90 degrees, and then I had to loosen the set screws. There's little set screws on the sides of these things. There's one right there, and there's one down there. And when you loosen that, you can swivel the head. So I swiveled the head, tightened it back up, and put it where we need to go. And that gives my horn enough room to clear the bass. And so now we're all set, and we're ready to drill our hole on the Fender drill press for the output jack. We're clear. Beautiful. Let's see how we did. Looks like a hole. Here we go. Oh yeah, very nice. So what's going to happen with that is I'm going to take this cover plate, open that hole so my barrel jack fits in it. Then I'm going to bend it, finish it, and that will go right over there. Beautiful. And that'll work very nice. And it's in a good spot, right on the corner there. That way when you're sitting on a couch with this, it won't be like sticking right out of the bottom. So this is couch approved. All right. Peace out. So I hope you have a great day. Keep making guitars or doing whatever you're doing. Watching the video. Like and subscribe if you get a chance. It really helps me out. And remember, every machine is a smoke machine if you don't use it properly. Peace out.